So, distance on a coordinate plane can be found simply by counting. Okay, so here's an example. I have a point here and I have a point here. How far away are these 2 points? 1, 2, 3. Great, they're 3. That's one method. One method is just simply counting. Okay, what about graph B? Will counting work for the diagonal?
Yeah.
No. Because we don't know when a block starts and when a block stops. Right? We don't know when that happens. So what we have to do instead is rely on Pythagorean theorem by drawing a right triangle. Okay? So we're going to draw that right triangle and we're going to label a side A and a side B. And that long side is always called C or hypotenuse. Okay? So we've got a right triangle now. And so how can we find distance? We know the 2 short sides, right? So if we know the 2 short sides, we can follow the addition one, the one where we add. Okay? So to find the diagonal on a coordinate plane, we create our own right triangle. And we use the Pythagorean theorem, but I'm going to write it out instead. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So in other words, the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance. The diagonal distance would then represent the, I already said it, the hypotenuse. I believe I'm spelling that right. Or C. Okay, and that's it. We're just going to take what we've already been doing, and apply it. Okay.
Can you go back?
Can I do what?
Like, can you make it?
Okay.
What's the what?
Hypotenuse. The longest side of a triangle. C. Hypotenuse. This is here as well. It's both of these blanks. Okay? Because I was just avoiding writing the whole word, Pythagorean theorem. Okay? Yes. Okay, so let's look at number 1, number 2, and number 3. Okay? So, if I want to find the distance between A and B, I first draw the line between A and B. The second step is to make the right triangle. So I go down and over. You could also go up and over, right? Either one is still a triangle, right? They're triangles. It doesn't matter which one you draw. Now, how wide is this triangle? Okay, 4. And how tall is this triangle? 5. Okay, so we have the 2 short sides. So if I have short sides, I add. So 4 squared plus 5 squared, and then plug it in, and you're done. Okay. So when you plug it in, what do you get? 6.4. Okay. Okay, let's try number 2. I first draw a line between the 2. Did you get 6.4? And then I draw my triangle. Great. So I draw the line, then I draw my triangle. Okay. Now, how wide is this triangle?
2 and 7.
2, and how tall? 7. 2 and 7. And if I'm following the rules over here on the board again, if I have the 2 short sides, I add. So square root of 7 squared plus 2 squared. What's 7 squared plus 2 squared? Square root. Okay. So I'll give you just a second. Try to plug it in. Remember, we're going to round up. We're going to round up. Don't say the answer just yet, but we're going to round up.
It's a triangle.
It is. That's what we're drawing. We're doing it on purpose.
Okay.
So it should be 7.3 when you round, because 2, 8, the 8 makes the number go up to a 3. Okay. What about the next one? What do I need to do first? Connect my dots and draw the triangle. Connect my dots and draw the triangle. So, okay, so now that we have the triangle, we need to identify the length and width. So how wide and tall is the triangle? Do people agree with 8 and 8? Okay, 8 and 8. Once again, those are the short sides. So don't say it, but do it real quick in the calculator. 8 squared plus 8 squared, and that value is, give you a second. Okay. So what's the value, Emmett? What'd you get? Okay. Seuss, what'd you get? 11.3? 11.3, 11.4, 11.2, which one? Is 11.3? Okay, great. So, once again, we connect the dots, draw a triangle, and then go back to what we did last week. And that's it. Or 2 weeks ago. Okay, let's look at number 4. Number 4 is slightly different because we have to do what first?
You have to put your own point.
We have to find our own points. So we got to plug them in. So is the first value x or y? X comma y. X comma y. Okay. So we have to remember which axis is x and which axis is y. Okay, so remember that this is x and this is y. So since x is first, I need to go to -6. So I'm going to go to the x and I'm going to find -6. And then it says +1, so I'm going to go up to +1 here. So I should have a point here. Okay, the next point says -4, 5. So I'm going to go to -4 first on x, -4, and then I'm going to go up to 5, which is here. Okay, so I'm using x, then y, x, then y. Okay, now I can zoom in a little bit and draw my triangle. How tall is my triangle? 4. How wide is my triangle? 2. And are those the short side or the long side? So we have to add under the square root. So square root of 4 squared plus 2 squared. Plug that in the calculator and let's see what you get. 4.5. Yeah? 4.5? So, open it up. Now, the second one is -7, -7. So I've got to go to -7x and then -7y. So that's down here in this bottom corner. That's down here in the bottom corner. So I'm going to put a dot down there. And then the next one is 4, -3. So I've got to go over 4 to x. Remember, x is the across. So 4 and down to -3, which would be here. Nope. There we go. Okay, so over 4 down 3. So let's zoom in. Okay, zoom in. Our points should be here and here. So -7, -7, and 4, -3. Okay, I've got to connect my 2 points. So I draw my line. Now what? Make a triangle. Over, up. Make a triangle. Okay, so once I make a triangle, it's as simple as counting the sides. So how far is my side here? 11. And then how tall is my side here? 11 and 4. So what are the two numbers I need to put underneath the square root? 11 and 4. 4 or 11. The order doesn't matter. So square root of 11 squared plus 4 squared. Okay, so plug that in and see what you get.
What am I plugging?
So the 11 squared and the 4 squared. Okay. You add up all the sides, yep. Mm-hmm. So when you plug that in, you get 11.7. Yeah, 11.7. Okay, last example here in this section. It says 0, 2. 0, 1, 2. So I've got to go up 2. So 0, 0, 2 is right here. And it said 7, 7. So I need to go over 7 and up 7. So it should be in this top right corner. Okay, we're going to connect the dots and draw a connect the dots and draw a triangle. So how far over is that triangle? 7. How tall is it? 5. Okay, so those are the values that I need to use. So the square root of 7 squared plus 5 squared. Okay. So plug that in, and what do you get? What do you get? 8.6. Okay, 3 things left and we'll be done. Okay, three questions left and we'll be done. Okay. Now, it says find the perimeter of the trapezoid. Okay, first thing we need to do. How do you find perimeter?
You add both sides.
Add all the sides. Okay. Well, okay, how long is this side?
6.
Okay, that's side 6. How long is this side? 8. How long is this side? Did you say 12? Sorry, I didn't hear. 12. And then how long is the missing side here? Well, we don't know yet. We don't know this one because it's a diagonal, so we have to find it. So how do we find the diagonal? By making a triangle. Okay, so I picked the point at the top and the point at the bottom, and I drew my triangle. So how tall is that value? 8. How wide is that value?
6.
6. 8 and 6. So what do I do with those two things to find the missing piece? We do the square root with addition. Okay. So square root of 8 squared plus 6 squared. And when you plug that in, you get 10. Okay? So that means this missing piece is 10. So how do I find the perimeter of the missing pieces then? We said we add up all the sides, right?
Yes.
So 6 plus 8 plus 12
Plus 10.
plus 10. And that value is 36. Okay? That value is 36. Okay? Number 8 is the same. Number 8 is the same. But it's a parallelogram. So what do we know about a parallelogram? That this side and this side are, okay, and that also means that this side and this side are the same. So how many triangles do I need to draw then? Just one, because they're the same. So if I find this distance down here, it's the same as this distance up here. Okay? So how wide is that triangle I've just drawn? 4 and 3. Good. Okay, 4 and 3. 4 and 3. So I need to do what with 4 and 3 then? Add the squares together. 3 squared plus 4 squared. What's that value?
5.
It's 5. Okay, this one is really, really common. 3 and 4, really, really common. 3 and 4 is really, really common. So you should know 3 and 4 is 5 by now because we've seen it over and over. So that means the piece down here is 5 and the piece up here is 5. Okay, well, how long are the two sides?
9.
Okay, 9 and 9. So perimeter means add them all up.
5 plus 5 plus 9 plus 9 is 28.
28.
That's what I said.
9 plus 9 plus 5 plus 5 is 28. Okay. Last problem. Says in the graph below, point A represents Ashley's house, point B is Bridget's, point C is Carly's house. Each unit on the graph represents 2 miles. Okay. So, A asks, how far is it from Ashley to Bridget's? Okay, so what do we need to do? Make a triangle. So, down and over. There's my triangle. There's my triangle. How tall is that triangle?
5.
5 is both correct and incorrect at the same time, but we'll get to that in just a second. How wide is the triangle? 11. Okay, now I'm going to highlight something. Okay. It says that each block represents how many miles? 2. So in reality, 5 is really how much? 5 blocks is 10 miles. Okay. What about 11 blocks? 22 miles. So what do I do with 10 and 22 then? They're the short sides, so we add. Same process over and over and over again. So what's that value? Okay, so what's that value? What's the square root of 10 squared plus 22 squared? 24.1 or 2? 0.2. Because it's 1.6? Is that what it is? So 6 makes it go up to 2. Okay, the last piece, and then we'll be almost done. A to C. And we got to draw our triangle again. Okay, draw our triangle again. How tall is my triangle? 10? Think it's 10? Okay, and then how wide is my triangle, Emmett? 2. But those aren't the miles, right? Those are just the how many blocks. So how many miles is it? If it's 10 blocks tall, it would be 20 miles. And if it's 2 blocks wide, it would be how many miles? 4. So what 2 numbers do I need to do the formula with? 20 and 4. Okay, what's that value? Okay, the people agree it's 20.4. Okay, 20.4. So whose house is closer? Whose house is closer? Carly. So Carly's house is closer. By how much? How would I find out how much closer? What would I need to do with the 2 values? Not 4 inches, miles, but we want an exact value. We don't want an approximation. So what would I do with those 2 things? Subtract. So what is 24.2 minus 20.4? Got to borrow from the 12 to get an 8. And I got to move that down to a 3. 3 minus 0 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. So the value is 3.8. Okay, the assignment is that next page.